Hi, my loves. Hi, guys. I'm back. I'm back. I didn't plan on posting. I wrote this lesson yesterday, but I was given clear instructions that this is today's lesson. Let's see if I put it like this, that this lesson must go out today. Just hold on for me, please, guys. Something is not sitting the way I want it to sit. I need my tea on this side, and my tea on this side, and my pen on this side. Alrighty. So I wrote this lesson yesterday. Please don't mind what's happening on the nose. I am trying to heal. I'm on the process of healing. I'm on the healing process. Okay. I've had a bit of a long day. I'm sure it shows that I've had a bit of a long day. The lesson today is part 2 of destiny swapping. So part 2, I can't hear myself. I don't know if I'm audible. In the morning, I didn't have a voice. There is a war on my voice. My mouth was filled with sauce. Like I woke up with the tongue, gums, everywhere in my mouth. It was just sauce. That was part 3. And I kept getting remedies from my ancestors, and I kept doing it. And I think it was around about 5:30, where my grandfather was like, you need to wake up and go do what I'm telling you to do. You're a light in a dark world, and you need to keep shining. So go do what I told you to do. So I woke up. I've been up since 5:30, dealing with myself. And I still had to go to Home Affairs, and I still had to do so many things, but I did it, and I'm here. And they said this lesson needs to come out today. I guess maybe you guys will understand why there's a war in my voice after I delivered this. Okay, so we're doing part 2. On destiny swapping. So the video on destiny swapping, for those of you who are new, hi, welcome to my page. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, depending on when you watch this video. And thank you guys for commenting and liking. And the video that's connected, this is part 2. The video that's connected to this lesson is called How to Reclaim Your Destiny. That's part 1. And that video has a woman with a mirror. There's a mirror in front of her and her face in the mirror, and she's breathing life or taking life. Either way. It's yellow. So for those of you who are new, you will find that video then. And then, alright, so this is part 2. But before I get into the lesson, because the page is growing, I still have to say these things. I do not do dream interpretations on the comments or in the inboxes. Please don't tell me your life stories. Don't tell me all the things that are happening to you in the inboxes. I don't need to know them, whether even in the comments. The stories and the confirmations that you are getting, it's fine. That's for you, not for me. That's for you and not for me. My purpose is to deliver the message. And once I've delivered the message, I'm done. So don't focus on the messenger, focus on the message. And let's be respectful in the inboxes. Please address me as Maputi. Do not address me as Gogo Mkulu. I beg, right? My ancestors don't like that. And thank you to those who have been respectful in the inboxes. And I do try and get to the inboxes as much as I can. If you're looking for a consultation, there's a link on my bio that has the different packages. You just go to packages, you find the packages. Many people are confused about that. I don't know what's confusing about that, because to me it's a straightforward thing. But if you're confused, do inbox me or email me. The link to my email is also on my bio. Bye. And then I'll share more details about bookings and everything. Alrighty. And then, if you say hi, how are you? Good morning, Maputi. I'm not going to respond. I'm only going to respond to inboxes that are clear and straightforward, and where you say the message that you want to say. As I said yesterday, I'm overwhelmed and I need to streamline and have strong boundaries. Did I forget anything that I wanted to say? No, I think I've said everything. Alrighty. So, I'm sure I forgot. There's something I thought of, but yeah, okay, fine. I'll remember it and I'll say it as we go through. All right. Part 2, how to reclaim your destiny. Now, this one is going to be different from the first one. And then I repeat, this will not be applicable to everyone. And when it doesn't align with you, don't come in the comments and say, but for me, listen to the message. I'm already saying it now that this will not apply to everyone. Don't make it fit if it doesn't fit, and there's no need for you to tell us that it doesn't fit. Just proceed. How to reclaim your destiny, part 2. But this time, we're focusing on the mother. How to reclaim your destiny from your mother. This is when your mother is the one who stole or the one who did the destiny swapping. Righty. So there's a touchy topic. So I'm going to be as sensitive as I can in it, but it's a very touchy topic. So listen carefully. Don't allow the emotions to get the best of you, but listen. Right, some destinies and stars do not get stolen by strangers. They do not get stolen by strangers, friends, or associates. But sometimes the destiny and the star can be stolen by your own parents. I've talked about it in the first video. I've hinted on it. I touched a little bit on it, but now I'm going into detailed on it. Right, now, I don't want to focus on the father. I want to focus mainly on the mother. Right, even though I said parents, but I want to focus on the mother, and you will understand why I'm focusing on the mother. Right, today, some mothers are the biggest culprits in such rituals. They are the biggest culprits. Now, why? Why would your mother, some of you, why would your mother be the biggest culprit? Because they are the least people you could expect to do such a thing. But they also have an advantage because you trust them because they're your mother. Not only that, they cook for you daily. You grew up eating the food that they cook for you. Not only that, they birthed you, and because they birthed you, you trust them. And also because you have a deeper connection with them, their bloodline. You have a deeper connection with their bloodline physically, and you were also manufactured in their womb. So the connection is deep. Mentally, physically, because you were manufactured in their womb. Mentally, because they are the ones that train you how to speak. They are the ones that are there with you from a tiny, tiny bit when you are young. They are the ones that taught you how to say your first word. And spiritually, because you get your DNA from them. Right? Because you get your DNA from her. And the other thing, the most important part, is that because you call her mom, that on its own makes her your God. When you call her mom, that on its own makes her your God. Because all goddesses are mothers. And all goddesses, and even Mother Earth, is a mother. And it automatically makes a mother a god. So they then have a deeper link and power over you. Some of you, your mothers will drain you, are the ones that drain you the most, and they are the ones that siphon your energy. And they do it better than anyone can ever do it. No one can siphon or drain your energy like your mother. Not even your dad. But your mother is the one who can do it better than everyone. Not only that, but they can use your light to benefit them. Because why? Because they are your first custodians. And as a first custodians, they are given the responsibility. They hold the responsibility to be a guardian in your life. The first responsibility of a guardian is given to them, not even your dad. And the reality is that there are mothers who are shown their soul's kids before the children are even born. Right. Now, let me give you an example what I mean about this. I do not have any kids. And due to not having any kids, okay, I'm going to pause this a bit. All right. Sorry, I had to pause this to go blow my nose. All right. So now, as I said, I do not have any kids. Right. But I know my kids. And I've been shown my kids. So I'm trying to give an example of what I mean, that some mothers see the souls of their own children before the children are born. So I do not have any kids, but I've already seen my kids and understand them differently on a soul level. I've been shown who they are. I know their personality. And I already know their soul mission. I already know what those souls are coming on earth to do. And I've already been prepared to be able to receive them. Yesterday when I was writing this, I wanted to share a story, but I'm going to share it. And so I understand their powers as well, right? So there was a time when I was nearly arrested. I was nearly arrested due to a family member, a misunderstanding with a family member. And that led to me being called by the police. Like, I even had not the police come to me. The family members is very influential in the area, and they know the polices and stuff like that. So I found myself having the CIDs coming to arrest me. Right? I'm not going to share the full story. So I nearly got arrested, and they came to fetch me, the CIDs. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is big. Not even the police, right? Not even the normal police. So I got in their car, went to the police station. But before I left, I said a prayer. I said to them, can you please give me 5 minutes? I was renting. And I said, can you please give me 5 minutes? I need to go and change. Because it seems like I'm going to be at the police station for a while. So I needed to wear jerseys and stuff. They're like, okay, no, fine, no problem. And the thing that apparently I had stolen, they came and they retrieved it. And the case should have been dropped because they found whatever they wanted, but it wasn't. The person kept on insisting that, no, this person must go to jail. Fine. I said a prayer. I lit a candle, said a prayer, wore whatever that I needed to wear. And I had a vision of what I need to go to the police station wearing on my head. Got that, I wore that, I left. It was during the day I went to the police station. And they started doing all the things that they do at the police station. And as I'm sitting, so now they do the whole dockets and documents and everything, and I have to go to the cells. The holding cells, and it's on a Friday, so definitely if they lock me up, I was going to stay the whole weekend, right? But everyone in the police station was just confused as to what am I doing there. Like, there was no reason for me to be there. And I went to the loo, and then I said a prayer again, and I had a vision. And I saw my son, and my son is like, don't worry, I'll handle it. It's like, okay, fine. And then they did the whole thing. I went to the back. Found myself at the back. I was like, so the man who signs the thing and tells you what cell you're going into looked at me and said, why are you here? So I explained the story. And I was like, what? It's like, I don't have time for you. Go sit down there. I have serious cases that I'm dealing with here. And eventually he came back to me and was like, what did you say? What's wrong with you? And I told him the story and said, let's go back to the front. We need to discuss this. I got to the front and I found the whole meeting was happening in the police station about me. And there was like a serious meeting that was happening. And this lady who was not scheduled to be on duty just came because she forgot a file. And she happens to be a spiritual person because she was wearing a white duke. But I could see her gift. And she then decided to call head office. Because she was like, no, what is happening here? This woman will sue us if we actually lock her up. Called head office, and head office is like, no, there's no way that woman should go into jail. But it was like a whole thing. And eventually they decided to lend me, but they then said I must get a lawyer to sign. So I had to ask someone, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I then got a lawyer. My friends, at that time, they came, they drove all the way, 1 hour, 30 minutes to just come and see if I was okay. And then I got home and they left me, and I said to them, no, I need a little bit of time on my own. I need to process this because I nearly slept in the cells. I was nearly arrested for the first time in my life for something that I didn't do, and it was a misunderstanding, and it was because of bitterness, right? And that evening, remember, I'm telling you the story because I want to show you how parents are able to see their kids. That evening I was crying. I don't cry. Like, I'm not the type to cry. So when I cry, it's a big deal in the spiritual world. And that evening I was really crying, and my son came. Like, I could see my kids. It was my son first, and then the others came, and they were comforting me. Like, the ancestors, everyone was just out that day to just comfort me, you know. And my future daughter is very funny, and so she was making jokes and everything. But yeah, so now imagine, I don't have kids, and I already know all those things about my kids. I've already had all those experiences about my kids. What does that mean about some of you? What experiences did your own parents have about you? Right. Now you all need to understand that not all mothers are made the same. Not all wombs are made the same. Now, yes, not all mothers will drain your light deliberately. Right? Some do it out of fear, but there are those who do it because of hatred. There are those who do it because they have hatred and bitterness in their hearts. Now, please go watch the video that I made about forgiveness. The cover is a man walking on a long road with 8 cups of gold on each side. Well, the cups are 8, but 5 on one side, 3 on one side. That's the video before the wine cleansing, 3 women toasting. That's the video before it. I talked a little bit about that. So you'll need that as a foundation. Some mothers will do things out of spite, even though they gave birth to you. Some mothers even start doing those things while you're still in the womb. When you're still in the womb, they will try to access your destiny. Now, some do things out of fear. Why do they do things out of fear? They do things out of fear because they're afraid that your light and your gift will expose things that they've been doing in the dark. And those are things that they are not ready for the world to know or you to know. They're afraid that your spiritual gift will reveal the truth of the family, the dark side of the family. Yeah. And so due to that, while you are still in the womb, they choose to close you spiritually from a young age or while you are still young. Now, let's go back to the video that I made about the star. Right? Destiny swapping. That's the destiny swapping video that I talked about in the beginning. Let's go back to that. I talked about a star. Your star is your divine essence. It is what makes your soul shines. And it is also what attracts blessings to you. It is what also helps you to fulfill your destiny on earth. Now, this is also where your gifts are stored. And that's where your gifts are stored, and then you can access them from there. Also, not only your gifts are stored in your star, but your wealth and your prosperity is also stored in your star. And they stay there until you are ready to access it. Now, this is why many of you will remain poor until you fully fulfill your spiritual responsibilities and do the things that you need to do in terms of your gifts. Right? To trust is just the beginning. Going through initiation, it doesn't mean you access your full star. That's just the beginning. That's just the first step. But it can take you years to access fully your star. Right? It can take you years to access fully your star, your gifts, and your wealth. Right? So there are many keys to unlock your star. Your star doesn't only have one key, master key. It has multiple keys, and there's different levels to accessing, to what you can access in your star. Right? I think I did talk a little bit about it in the destiny swapping video. So please go back if you haven't watched it to watch that video. Right? So now I already told you what the cover of that video is. Now let's move on. I don't have a lot of time. Now, your parent has the ability to tap into your star as a child. And they can use your gifts or even extend their own powers using your gifts. So they can have access to your gifts, and they can then even extend their own powers and wealth using your gifts. They can even go as far as swapping your destiny to make them wealthy. Or even, they can even go to the point of trying to steal your wealth and your destiny. Some even go to the point of trying to steal your beauty. This is why we have mothers competing with their daughters. Right? Remember Rapunzel and her fake mother? Now, let's talk about why would a mother do such a thing to their own child, the child that they conceived and they kept in their womb for 9 months, to the point that they even had to give birth to the child at, mothers can die at the risk of dying. As a mother, you can literally die from giving birth. But why would a person do such a thing? Why would a person do such a thing after being through that excruciating pain? Right? Now let's talk about the truth that many people don't want to accept. Not every womb is sacred. And I have talked about this in the goddess quotes, goddess alchemy quotes. I've talked about this in many videos. That some of you, that a womb is a portal, and that some of you, the wombs that you hold, have activated portals in the dark realms. Why have they activated portals in the dark realms? Because you are busy sleeping with men who do rituals, and now dark entities have had access to your womb. Now your womb is defiled and dark, and such a womb will make you have hatred and bitterness beyond your own control as a woman. You will not even be able to control the bitterness and the darkness within yourself. Number 2. So that's number 1. Number 2, some women carry envy in their hearts. They don't only carry envy, but they carry bitterness. We even see them as friends. And these things are in their hearts. Now, the reason why they could be going through that is because they could have had a tough childhood. And then after they were shown your destiny, they then find themselves hating the fact that you will have a better life than them. And it bothers them. And that your destiny, you will not have to suffer as they suffered. And that creates envy within them. Right? So that creates envy within them. Some had to grow up in the shadows. And they grew up in the shadows and they were irrelevant in the family. No one took notice of them. And they were always in the shadows. And all the other kids in the families got the acclaim, got the recognitions and everything. Now, such mothers will then try to cling to your destiny. They will cling to your light so that they are able to get the recognition that they were never able to get. So that could be some of the reasons why a mother would do that. Now let's get into signs that your mother might be using your destiny. Now please pay attention. Just because I'm saying the signs doesn't mean just because this is happening, it's the truth. The only way for you to be sure, 100% sure, is to ask your ancestors and ask them to reveal it to you, or to book a consultation so that it can be unpacked in a consultation. So don't just because some of these things fit, assume that it's happening to you. It's not a one size fits all. I'm just generalizing a lot of things to help you understand. But some of you have already seen the signs and you just need confirmations. Right. Growing up, she hid things about your spiritual gift. And she did rituals on your behalf without you even knowing that the rituals were being done. That's number 1. Number 2, your spiritual gifts are not accepted. So one of the signs is that your spiritual gifts are not accepted, and she will fight you tooth and nail to make sure with all her power that you do not unlock your gifts, to the point that she will hinder you from performing rituals, the rituals that will be able to help you access your star. Some parents even go to the point of kicking you out of their home, knowing very well that you need to do rituals that need you to be at home and you don't have a house. Right? So they will kick you so that you do not do proper ancestral rituals that will help you access your star. The other thing is that every single time you are near them, you feel drained. When you are in their presence, you feel drained. When you leave, you feel so much drain. Even when you talk to them on the phone, you always feel tired after having discussions with them. This is the biggest one. Let me see. Number 1, 2, 3. Number 4. This is the biggest one. Didn't write numbers. Number 4. This is the biggest one. Every single thing you share with her never materializes. When you share things about your futures, your dreams, or you never achieve them. But when you decide to do things without sharing it with her, automatically things start happening in your life. Every plan you share with her falls apart, but plans you do not share with her, they materialize. So that's one of the biggest signs. And then also, when you share plans with her, she discourages you from fulfilling your dreams or going after your goals, to the point of she would even emotionally blackmail you or abuse you or physically abuse you anytime you try and do something for yourself that betters yourself. In her presence, you never progress spiritually, especially when you live in her house. Nothing ever happens for you spiritually. It is only when you leave that things start happening in your life. But whenever you're at home, nothing ever happens. You're always in stagnation whenever you're around her. Right, now these things don't only just create emotional harm or trauma in your life, because they do create trauma and emotional harm in your life, but we call them spiritual sabotage. They are spiritually sabotaging you, because such destiny theft, because it's a destiny swapping is a destiny theft. It's a form of theft. And when it's done by a parent, it's even bigger and has a bigger effect than when it's done by an outsider. They can create blockages in your life. You have a dark cloud that's constantly on your life. You go to people for consultations. You get cleansed and still nothing happens. The shadow keeps on remaining in your life. And you keep asking yourself, but why have I been going through cleansings and stuff, but nothing seems to improve? It's because the covenants were made by blood. Because you share the same blood with that person. And they were made by blood. And when they are made by blood, covenants made by blood with someone you share the same blood with are more stronger than covenants that are made by someone else. And such, let me give you examples of such blockages. You will have financial blockages all your life. When there's a destiny theft done by a parent, you will never get married. You will never get married, especially for the men. You find yourself, your mother doesn't want you to get married because you keep channeling all your money to her. You are even unable to keep a relationship. This can happen to a woman as well. You experience career blockages. Even if the career is open, every single thing that you make, every income that you make has to go towards her. Some of you lack purpose and direction as part of Lififi, the blockage that come. This is the biggest one. You go through a cycle where you keep having to go back home. After the tiny little of success, you find yourself back home. And then you work your way, and then you get a job or whatever. And then boom, something happens and you lose it, you go back home. There's a repetitive cycle where you always have to go back home. Then that means that someone has stole your destiny and they've kept it at home. And for you to be able to progress, you need to go back there and reclaim it so that you can go forward. Right. Now that we've come to a point where I've done 2 videos, this is the second video on destiny swapping. What are the things that you can do to protect yourself from such, either destiny swapping from friends or destiny swapping from a parent? This is the biggest one. The biggest important thing that you need to do is to stop oversharing things about your life. Many of you have an oversharing problem. You overshare everything. You need to teach yourself that you should not share information, especially with your parent or with people. You overshare with friends, you overshare with others, boyfriends, girlfriends, you even overshare on social media, things that no one asked you. Number 2, you need to stop seeking validation and love from people who have shown that they don't love you, especially from a parent that you know that she will never love you. And she has made it clear and shown it that they will never love you. Stop seeking validation from her. You do not seek validation from people who silently resent you. People who resent you, don't seek validation from them. Why would you go seek validation from someone who hates you? Some hate you silently, but you know it. You feel it. And some of you know that your mothers hate you, and yet you want to go and seek validation from her. Number 3, stop assuming that all mothers operate from a place of love, because they don't. You need to learn to understand that some mothers operate from a place of fear and hatred. You need to understand that 90% of human trafficking, especially child trafficking, 90% of child trafficking is actually initiated by a parent. Things I've read, I remember when I was studying this, I've read, I've watched, and I've talked to people who were part of that group that were human trafficked. And 90% of those people always say that it was their parent who initiated the human trafficking. Just because a person is your parent doesn't mean they love you. And some of you need to get that through your head, your thick scalp. Right? So a higher percentage of even that parent, the higher percentage falls under the mother. And they do it from a young age. A big chunk of the children who are molested at home by their father's uncle or stepdad, their mothers know exactly what is happening. They are aware of it. And they are letting it happen to their kids. They are letting it happen to the kids so that they can save their own marriages. Some mothers know that the only way for them to save their marriage is to allow their husband to keep molesting their kids. Some mothers know that the only way to keep food on the table is to allow the stepfather or the uncle to keep molesting their kids. And they know it and they're okay with it. Some mothers even exchange their children's sexual purity for money. I saw a video on Instagram of a mother who was allowing her 14-year-old daughter to get into prostitution. Why would a mother do that? So we need to stop the notion of believing that all mothers are operating from a place of love, because they don't. Not all mothers are like that. And also, some of you who this message doesn't relate to, stop the notion of always telling people, but it's your mother. But she's your mom. You need to forgive. Stop that. People are going through a lot, and their mothers are inflicting the hardest pains that they're going through in life because of a mother. And just because your mother is operating from a place of love doesn't mean that everyone on earth, their mothers like that. Just because you as a mother, you are operating from a place of love doesn't mean that another mother doesn't have the capability to operate from a place of hate. Many people have to go through so much, and they come to you as a friend to just try and talk to you, and all you can say, but she's your mother, instead of being there and understanding them. Right? Just because you got love from home doesn't mean everyone is getting love from home. And so there are these people who didn't get love from home who this message is for. So don't come in the comments and say, but my mother, we don't want to know. That's you. We're talking about people who this situation relates to. Okay, fine. Now, let me see. I have one page. Now, this is part 2. Can I have a little bit of tea? Now, this is part 2 of the destiny swapping. People were asking me in the last video, how do you reclaim your destiny? How do you what? How do you what? I'm going to give a little bit of hint. I'm going to give a few things that you can do to reclaim your destiny. The number one thing, the biggest and number one thing, is that you need to build a strong relationship with your ancestors. But not all ancestors, the ancestors of light. The ancestors of light. Because not all ancestors are the same. So you need to build a strong relationship, especially when you're operating at the ground level. At the ground level, you cannot be associating with ancestors that it's gray. You need to make sure you know who you're associating with. So make sure you build a strong relationship with ancestors of light and love. That's the first step. That's the first thing you can do. Number 2, you actively work on your gifts and calling. Stop ignoring your gifts and calling. You actively follow the instructions that are coming from you. Number 3, you regularly cleanse. Now, please don't ask me how you cleanse, because I've already made 2 videos on how to cleanse. And I don't want to see anyone ask me how do they cleanse. I've already made 2 videos on how to self-cleanse. Right? Number 4, daily ritual prayer. Now, if you're living with your mother, you do it silently. Sometimes you just need to silently pray. Now, I've already done 2 videos on how to pray. Go back and watch those videos. And don't ask me to send you the links, or ask anyone to send you the links. Go through the videos. All my videos have titles. You will find them. I've also done 2 videos on intuition. They are all connected, all those 4 videos. You do daily rituals of prayer. You don't pray only when you want money. You pray every single day. Number 5, you speak less about your plans. Stop oversharing things. right? You pray daily and build a strong protection barrier. Prayer, what it does is that it builds a protection barrier around you. It's like a spider's web. A spider keeps on moving its web daily. It doesn't do it once and it's done. It does it daily. After a while, the spider has a strong web. That's what you do. That's what prayer does. Prayer starts off weak. It builds a weak barrier around you. But the more you pray, the more you get woven into these protective things. And if you do it daily, the more the woof becomes stronger, the protection becomes stronger. You cannot be crying about not being protected, but you only pray once a month, or when you want money, or when you're being attacked. Now, as much as I said you should do cleansings on a regular, self-cleansings, you also need to do cleansings at least once a year with a healer who has more power than you. Now, how do you know a healer has more power than you? Go ask your ancestors. Stop coming into people's inboxes and saying that, I've had bad experiences with healer. Yeah, you have bad experiences with healer because you went there on your own. Your ancestors didn't send you there. And yes, sometimes your ancestors send you there and still you had bad experiences. But still, they knew that we were going to come out of that, and that person is the only one who could have helped you. Right? So you go ask your ancestors to direct you to the right person. You need to call your power back on a regular. There are mantras you can find on the internet that you can say on a regular where you call your power back. Also, you build a strong relationship with yourself. Have high self-esteem, be authentic, have strong boundaries, and rely on your intuition. Because ancestors are not always going to use dreams or visions, because those things can easily be monitored, especially dreams. Dreams can be easily monitored. So ancestors are going to use more. 80% of the time, ancestors use intuition more than dreams. And you guys are just sitting here waiting for a dream while your ancestors are talking to you every single day. And they give you intuitive messages, but you doubt those messages. Trust your intuition. Right? Now, forgive them. Another one. Forgive them because they do not know what they're doing. Right? Because when you do not forgive, you block your own blessings. When you struggle with forgiveness, you block your own blessings. But just because I said you forgive, it doesn't mean you become ignorant to what they've been doing. Forgiveness doesn't mean you become blind. You do not become blind to who they are and what they are capable of doing. You forgive them to remove yourself, to save yourself. But you do not ever forget. And now all of a sudden think just because you forgave them, they're a good person. Even if they come and say, I'm sorry, it doesn't mean they've repented. They will still do it again if they've done it once. Because that's who they are. The only reason sometimes they say I'm sorry is because you figured out what was happening. If you didn't figure it out, they would never have said I'm sorry. So that's not a person who repents. If needs be, the last one, if needs be, you distance yourself and cut all ties with them. There are people out there that the biggest peace they've ever found in their life has been because they cut their mother out. And they're living happily without those women. There's no shame in cutting a person off, even your own mother. And if you have to do it, you have to do it. And those who tell you, but she's your mother, you can live with your mother, tell them fuck off. Because they've not lived the life that you've lived. For your own peace, serenity, and mental health, it is important that you cut people off. And if it's your mother, you cut them off until you are mentally strong to be able to be courteous towards them. Right? Those are the things you can do. Use your own discernment and intuition before you start implementing these things. Now, if you feel that no, I need more guidance, you book a consultation. You stop asking me questions in the inboxes. I'm not giving free consultations in the inboxes. Now, on a general level, not just about a mother, but on a general level in terms of destiny swapping, the number one key from preventing destiny swapping is being selfish. The number one key to prevent destiny swapping is being selfish. You have to love yourself. The more you love yourself more than anyone else, it is the more you're able to protect your peace, honor your time, and keep your mouth shut. It is loving yourself. Self-love is not about going to a spa. Self-love is not about this and this. Self-love is about creating strong boundaries and making sure that people do not take advantage of you. The more you practice self-love, the more you are selfish, One of my friends says, you must say no about yourself. You must respect yourself, to put yourself on the highest pedestal. People who are sitting on the highest pedestal are not easily manipulated. Even a narcissist does not go for someone with the highest level of confidence or person who has the highest level of self-love. Even abusers, rapists, whatever, they do not target you because they can see. The second key is oversharing. Oversharing is the reason why many of you have such issues in your life. And this is why many people keep coming after you, because you overshared. Sometimes you wouldn't even be facing the challenges that you're facing if you hadn't even shared anything. If you had kept your mouth shut about your dreams and about the things you are seeing in your visions and the dreams you are having, the plans you have for your future or the things you want for yourself, no one would be coming about you because they wouldn't know. But sometimes they come after you because you shared a dream that made them think and say, why is he having such a dream? Why is she having such a dream? Let me go check. Let me go find out what is so special about her. And because of that, then you find yourself, people are taking you spiritually. Because when you keep commenting your dreams and visions on every social media platform, when you just keep saying things, you don't even know me, you've never even met me, but you feel like when you can share your dream. And you say, I feel like it. Why do you have to share it? You don't have to share it. I never asked you. Don't share it. Because the reality is that even if you think I'm a nice person, I'm a good person, and you share it on a comment, someone else who knows you will see it. You might think people don't know you and you're using numbers and think no one will recognize you as your ID, but people know you. They are monitoring you. Right? You keep commenting on social media and randomly coming into other people's inboxes and telling them. When you are sitting with friends or whatever, whenever you want to be the star of the show and telling people how spiritual you are, they are listening. They are listening to those dreams and visions. They are listening to every single thing. Some even ask questions as if like they're interested to make you talk more. To make you share more, knowing very well when they're done what they're going to do with this. Right? Keep going around and commenting so that everyone can see that you are special, and you keep revealing things that you shouldn't even be revealing. Many of you go through spiritual attacks only because you could not keep your mouth shut. Sometimes it's because you could not keep your mouth shut. And if you kept your mouth shut, you wouldn't even be going through half of the stuff you go through. Some of you is because you are constantly seeking validation. You want to be validated. You want someone to assure you that the path that you're on is right. You want someone to keep telling you that, no, I also had the same thing. You keep seeking validation from strangers. People on the internet are not your friends. They don't know you. You don't know me. Even if I'm posting these videos, you don't know me. You don't know my character. You don't know the kind of person I am. Now that goes just for me. But there are people out there who you don't know, but you feel like you can trust them. Don't trust strangers. That's why your parents told you don't trust strangers. And you will see, even after saying all this, someone will come on one video and still want to share their dream and still want to share their story. Yeah, my mom did this and this to me. You will see it. And this is why I keep teaching you guys. I keep teaching and I keep repeating. Right? I keep teaching you the same thing and keep telling you that do not share. Even if my message aligns with what you're going through. Even if what I'm saying is true, it's okay. You can just thank you. You can say thank you. Thank you for the clarity and leave it there. There's no need for you now to write a whole paragraph and tell us, oh, I saw my grandmother doing this and this and this. No, we don't need to know all those things. Because sometimes they don't even know you saw them. But now you will go comment and your cousin will go see it. And now all of a sudden the whole family knows that. When now you know that you can see, now they know you can see them. So now they up their game. While you're still trying to deal with it on this level, they up their game. Right? Now, before, oversharing is the biggest culprit. Oversharing is the biggest culprit. Keeping things to yourself protects your destiny. Not only does it protect your destiny, it also allows you to move in life quicker because people are not influencing you with their energies. Now ask yourself this question, and this is a question because I used to be an oversharer as well. I can't teach you things that I've not myself dealt with. I used to be an oversharer as well. I used to struggle from that, and I struggled from destiny swapping because of being an oversharer. And my ancestors would ask me the same question. Before you share, they will say, Maputi, did they ask you? Ask yourself now today, did they ask me? Did Aus Maputi ask me to share this thing? No, she didn't. Then don't share it. Did Aus Maputi ask me to share my dreams? No, she didn't. Then don't share them. No way. I've never even made a video asking people to share their dreams. I even keep saying it in every video that please don't share your dreams. But people still do it. Ask yourself, did they ask me? In a conversation with friends and you feel like you want to talk about stuff, ask yourself, did they ask me? And if no one asked you, don't share about it. Did anyone ask you to tell them? Did they ask you? Even if they did ask you, still don't share it. Because you don't know what the intention of them asking you is. But most of the time, people don't even ask you. You go willingly and now want to share every single thing. Did they ask you? Majority of the blockages in your life are not even coming from your ancestors. You'll be blaming ancestors here. When I ask people to send me voice notes in preparation for their consultation, because I want to know what they're coming for a consultation for. People are like, yeah, I want to ask my ancestors, why have they deserted me? Why have they blocked me? Why are my blessings blocked? But only to find that they are the culprit. 90% of the issues that you're going through have nothing to do with your ancestors but you. You're not listening, you're oversharing, and you're impatient. Those are the things that are keeping you stuck. In order, I saw 555, and that's changes here. So in order to make the right changes in your life, ask yourself, did they ask me? Did they ask me? Did anyone ask me about my spiritual gifts? Did anyone ask me, what am I doing with my life? Did anyone ask me to share progress on my spirituality? No, they didn't, so then I shouldn't share it. Even if you're going on a brunch with friends that you haven't seen in a while, did they ask you? And if you're sitting with people who are constantly only talking about themselves, allow them to talk about themselves and keep your mouth shut. In that conversation, they will then ask, but what are you doing with your life? Just say, I know. They're normal. Even teach yourself to give people the wrong information and see them running with that information. I have a tendency of just sharing something, like just giving a hint to say that something is happening when it's not happening. And then the next thing, I will hear people talking about it and I will know exactly who to not trust in my friend group. Well, I'm a Gemini. We play mind games. Right? But sometimes share wrong information just to hear how people are going to react to it, and you will know the true colors of the people you think are your friends. Not only that, you will know the true colors of your family members. All right. Maybe we might come back with part 3. I don't know. But when the teachers are okay with certain things, we will share them.